Alexander the Great was one of the world's most accomplished leaders, a womaniser whose closest companions were his male general and a horse. His 100,000-strong army instilled fear in its enemies, sweeping across southern Europe, northern Africa and the Middle East, creating one of the biggest empires the world has ever seen. Even though Alexander the Great died 2,500 years ago, his influence on Western art and culture is still felt today. As Rebecca Bailey reports, Australians now have the chance to see a priceless collection of Alexander artefacts that's never before travelled south of the equator.
It's the start of a long winter in St Petersburg, Russia's second biggest city. Once home to the imperial Tsars, St Petersburg became Leningrad after the 1917 revolution. Now Russia's cultural capital, the city boasts one of the world's largest art museums, the State Hermitage.
This is a great country and great and dramatic history. State Hermitage Museum is a global museum. It's important not just Russian history. The museum is able to demonstrate the history of civilization.
Inside the Tsar's Winter Palace, a world-famous collection of antiquities tells the story of Alexander the Great, one of history's most revered warriors and conquerors.
There's no who was Alexander the Great, it's an instant recognition. He was this combination of flawed superhero. He had all of the vices and all of the virtues. He was a wild carouser and drinker. He was militarily incredible as a tactician. He was apparently very handsome, very good looking.
Collected by the 18th century Russian queen, Catherine II, the objects date from the time of Alexander 2,500 years ago up to more modern times. Now these precious artefacts are heading to the southern hemisphere for the first time in their long history. It's a delicate